Are you struggling with feeling like you don't fully belong anywhere? If you're multiracial, you might have faced this in ways that others simply don't understand. Maybe you've been told you don't look like one part of your identity, or even that you're not enough of a certain race to claim it. If you've felt that, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. Here's the truth: society has been trying to put people into neat racial boxes for centuries. But multiracial people don't fit. The very idea that races need to be separate, distinct, and pure? That was built to uphold a system of power. Multiraciality, your very existence, challenges that outdated thinking. You're living proof that the world doesn't work in simple, black and white terms. But, what's the cost of this to your well-being? And how can we address the unique challenges you face every day? The problem: multiraciality is invisible, and that's a problem. Multiracial people are often erased or overlooked. Think about it. Throughout history, society has struggled to even acknowledge that you exist. The one-drop rule, for instance, was designed to make sure anyone with a trace of black blood would be categorized as black, no ifs, ands, or buts. Why? To maintain control, to enforce racial boundaries, and to keep power structures intact. Even now, people often have a hard time seeing you for all that you are. A 2012 study showed that when people look at photos of multiracial individuals, they tend to force them into just one racial group. 10 years later, even though we've made some progress, that hasn't fully changed. You still might hear comments like, "I didn't know you were part Asian," or "You don't look black enough." It's exhausting. The mental toll: how monoracism affects multiracial well-being. This kind of erasure has consequences. It doesn't just affect how others see you, it affects how you see yourself. It can make you feel split, like you're constantly being asked to choose one identity over another. Worse, when people challenge your identity or try to force you into the box, it messes with your mental health. Research shows that invalidating someone's racial identity can lead to anxiety, depression, and even issues with substance use. But wait, it gets more complicated. Monoracism, or discrimination against multiracial people, doesn't just come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from within your own family. Maybe a parent denies that you're facing racial discrimination or makes negative comments about a part of your racial identity. That cuts deep. Studies show that when multiracial youths face this kind of invalidation from family members, their self-esteem takes a hit. And that's where we see the real problem. It's not being multiracial that causes stress. It's society's inability to see and accept all of who you are that does. The pressures multiracial youth face. Now, think about being a teenager. That's already a challenging time, right? You're figuring out who you are, where you fit in. But for multiracial youths, the challenge is even bigger. They don't just have to navigate the typical teenage struggles, they're navigating multiple racial identities in a world that still clings to monoracial categories. Worse, some family members may promote a colorblind attitude, telling you that race doesn't matter or we don't see color. While that may sound like a nice idea, it's harmful because race does matter. It affects how people treat you. Ignoring it doesn't make the problem go away, it makes it harder to address. The need for racial socialization: talking about race is essential. So, how can we fix this? It starts with something called racial socialization. That means having open conversations about race and identity, about what it means to be multiracial and proud. This isn't about choosing one racial identity over another, it's about recognizing and embracing all of your identities. For multiracial families, this means parents need to actively teach their children about all parts of their racial backgrounds. It means discussing racism, even if it's uncomfortable, and preparing children for the bias they might face. Research shows that when parents provide this kind of support, multiracial youths feel more confident and have higher self-esteem. Building a strong racial ethnic identity, a shield against discrimination. A strong racial ethnic identity can be a powerful tool for multiracial individuals. It's like armor against the discrimination and monoracism you may face. Studies consistently show that multiracial people who feel proud of their racial background have better mental health outcomes. They report higher self-esteem, less depression, and lower rates of substance use. But here's the tricky part: building that identity isn't always straightforward. With multiple racial heritages, you might feel pressure to pick a side, or worse, like you don't fully belong in any of them. Carrie Ann Rocklamore's work highlights the range of identity options multiracial individuals have, from identifying with one group, to embracing multiple, to rejecting racial categories altogether. There's no one right way to identify. The key is that your choice should be yours, not something forced on you by others or influenced by stereotypes. Practical solutions for multiracial families. So, what can we do? For parents, it's crucial to engage in positive socialization. This means 1. Teaching about multiple heritages. Celebrate all parts of your child's racial background. Expose them to people, traditions, and cultures from all their racial groups. 2. Discussing multiracial identity. Have open conversations about what it means to be multiracial. Emphasize pride in that identity without making them feel they need to identify in any specific way. 3. Preparing for bias. Teach them about racism and monoracism. Equip them with the tools to handle discrimination they might face from all sides. 4. Promoting diversity appreciation. Encourage an informed appreciation of all racial and ethnic groups, not through a colorblind lens, but one that acknowledges and values differences. Breaking free from the monoracial paradigm. Multiracial people have always existed, but society is only now starting to catch up. We need to break free from the monoracial mindset that limits how we understand race. That means challenging assumptions, confronting stereotypes, and acknowledging that multiracial experiences are valid and important. It's time for your stories to be told. The more we see and hear from multiracial individuals, the more we can move beyond harmful, outdated ideas about race. Final thoughts: your identity is yours. At the end of the day, your identity is something only you can define. No one else gets to decide how enough you are of any race. You don't have to fit neatly into the box, and you don't have to justify your existence. The world is changing, and multiracial people are leading the way. Your voices, your stories, your lives are shaping a future where racial categories don't limit who you can be. You deserve to be seen, fully and completely. And when that happens, not only will your mental health benefit, but so will society as a whole.